Hey guys, today we're going to be sharing our Christmas book haul for 2024. So this is our Christmas book haul for 2024. So I guess that's pretty self-explanatory. Let's get going. And I usually tend to have the most books out of the both of us, so I'm going to go first. Let's cover up my sister here. Yeah, how's that? Do you like being covered up?
Yes, I do.
Let's cover up my sister. So this first one that I got, this is a, Lord, I can't even read it. It's so golden. This is from Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Christmas at Hogwarts. And this is just, I guess, an illustrated version of the Christmas sequence, the chapter in Sorcerer's Stone, I'm assuming. So yeah, this is just really cute and tiny. I like it.
I have volumes 11 and 12, Spy Hunter, and now I know what this is about. I remember when you got me copies of this for the first time, I couldn't remember what it was about, but it's about a guy who is a spy who needs to form a family to help him finish his mission. So the lady he marries is actually an assassin, and he doesn't know that. And she doesn't know he's a spy. And then they adopt a daughter, and she can read minds, I think is what it is. Yeah, she can read minds, and they don't know that she can do that. And so they all have these freaky powers, or well, they all have something secret that nobody knows about.
Sounds like an Umbrella Academy almost to me. I mean, I know you've not watched or read Umbrella Academy.
Umbrella Academy.
Oh, have you read Umbrella Academy?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you read
well,
Umbrella
not
Academy.
the full thing. I've probably read half
I mean,
of it.
is that similar? Does that gonna have comparisons or not?
No, there's no.
Oh, okay.
It's not like
Okay.
superpowers are not the focus of
Okay.
the show or manga.
Okay. I feel like I'm just covering Stephanie's face up this whole video, but that's just how it's going to be. So the next two books, Stephanie, you poking your head out over there. These next two books come from House of the Dragon, the prequel to Game of Thrones. And these are like behind the scenes companion books. And there's like a lot of things like with artwork and previs and costuming. Blue screen, all that sort of good stuff. So yeah, I was having a flip through these, and this looks fun and exciting. I'm a nerd for House of the Dragon, you guys. So yeah, this one is for season 1, and then this is one for season 2 that just came out recently.
Next, I have volumes 3 and 4. Yep, of Cat and Gamer, and this is the most simplest story ever. It's just about a girl who finds this kitten. And their adventures, their life together. I don't know if anything exciting happens. I don't think it does.
It's just cute. That's all that matters.
It's just cute.
Yeah, it's all that matters. It's a cute book about a cat and a girl.
And
do they play video games?
He looks. Yes, she plays video games. Strangely similar story of my life because this kitten looks like our kitten,
Felix.
Yes.
And next up, I have this nonfiction book, and this is Witches Run Amok, Hocus Pocus, The Oral History by Shannon Carlin. Yeah, like I said, nonfiction. I guess I've not really had a total flip through this book, but I'm assuming it's like a behind-the-scenes like featurette of the making of Hocus Pocus and how it became a cult classic.
Next, I have Nuggly by MC Ross. Same author of A Dog's Purpose.
Oh, really?
Yes. Nuggly is about Nugget, who was born as an adorable puppy, but then he gets put up for adoption and nobody adopts him. Or no, he runs away because he doesn't understand, I guess, why he's being put up for adoption. So he runs away, and then he gets into a fight.
Oh.
And then he becomes disfigured. I don't know if you can see. He's got his jaw looks like it's probably been dislocated. His bottom teeth come out, and then he's got this big scar that runs down. His nose looks like it's slightly missing.
Let me see the cover. I didn't pay attention to the cover. Oh, he is messed up.
That's why he's Nuggly.
Oh,
he went from Nugget to Nuggly.
He's not Nuggly. He's still precious.
He's still cute.
He's still precious.
But And it says he's sure he lost everything without his
Oh.
cuteness. How will he ever find a new family?
Let me guess. They're going to make this into a movie at some point. He's going to be a CGI dog.
Yeah, because it sounds like...
And it's going to make you cry your eyes out.
It sounds like all the other movies that he meets multiple other people along his journey.
Until he finds
and
his
then
true
he will
owner.
find his true person.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I hope they make that into a movie so I can cry. Yeah, it would totally be a CGI dog. You know? Unless they found a dog kind of similar that had some, maybe not exactly, maybe not the exact same problems, but maybe like missing an ear or something, or an eye, you know. That way they didn't have to get a CGI dog. Spend the money on a CGI dog. Next up, I have another work of non-fiction here, and this is The Scapegoat, The Brilliant Brief Life of the Duke of Buckingham by Lucy Hughes Hallett.
That was a mouthful.
It is. This is about George Villiers, a.k.a. the Duke of Buckingham, who was notoriously known as one of the lovers, I shall say, of King James I, the king who came after Queen Elizabeth I. So, yeah, they made a TV show earlier in 2024, back at the early part of 2024, and it was called Mary and George, and it had like Julianne Moore and Nicholas Galitzine, and they were playing Mary and George, and Nicholas Galitzine was playing the Duke of Buckingham, and Tony Curran was playing James I, and I liked that miniseries. It was really good. So yeah, when I saw that this book was coming out, I was like, I need this as like a companion piece to that TV show, because I really enjoyed that TV show. So I can't wait to get to this. George Villiers, aka the Duke of Buckingham, he was a pretty scandalous dude. He did some pretty crazy things because he was trying to, manipulate and control King James, and it was pretty great. I love it. So I can't wait to read this.
Next, I have The Keeper of Night, and it is by Kylie Lee Baker. And then also, I didn't know there was part 2 that came out. That is The Empress of Time.
Yeah, you didn't have that second book on your list, so I was like, I might as well just go ahead and give it for you.
Zero clue that there was a second one. I'm going to read it because I'm not too sure.
That's okay.
The top says, a half Reaper, half Shinigami, soul collector. So it says, Ren Scarborough, right, has been collecting souls in the London streets for centuries, expected to obey the harsh hierarchy of the Reapers who despise her. Ren conceals her emotions and avoids her tormentors as best she can. When her failure to control her developing Shinigami abilities drives Ren out of London, she flees to Japan to seek the acceptance she's never gotten from her fellow Reapers. Accompanied by her younger brother, the only being on Earth to care for her, Ren enters Yomi, the Japanese underworld, to serve the goddess of death, only to learn that here too she must prove herself worthy. Determined to earn respect, Ren accepts an impossible task: find and eliminate 3 dangerous yokai demons, and learns how far she'll go to claim her place at death's side. How far she'll go.
That sounds exciting. Sounds good. Next, I have another book of nonfiction here, and this is Thorns, Lust, and Glory, The Betrayal of Anne Boleyn by Estelle. I think her last name is Perrin-Q. I'm not sure. She actually has a YouTube channel. She's a real historian, obviously, and she has a YouTube channel that I'm subscribed to, and I really love her YouTube channel. Because she'll sit and watch like all the type of like TV shows and movies that I like, and she'll sit and analyze them. Because her specialty is like the Tudors and Anne Boleyn and stuff like that. So she'll sit and watch all those shows, and she'll analyze them and critique them. Like, this is wrong. So I love her channel. But she still has a good time with it. So yeah, I think that's obvious what this book is about the betrayal of Anne Boleyn. I think all the people who in her life that led up to her getting beheaded, by Henry VIII. And I like the back of this book. It's really cool. I like that.
Next, I have The Reckoning of Roku by Randy Ribay. This is part of the whole, I guess, Chronicles of the Avatars, what the entire series is called. So from the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender, finally we got Roku. You'd think Roku would have actually been the first one that they would have done. But I can't remember. Might be a second one, because I think they all usually have 2 of them, but decided to read about young Roku.
Next up, The Ghost Cat by Alex Howard, and it says, as seen on TikTok. I don't know who this person is, but let's just go with it. I don't get on TikTok, you guys, so I don't know.
I do, but I don't even know.
So I don't know. Let's see. Early morning, 1902, at 77 Marchmont's Crescent, Edith, maybe, I don't know. The char lady tips coal into a fire grate and sets it alight. Overhearing, Grimalkin the cat ambles over to curl up against the welcome heat and lick his favorite human's hand. But this is to be his last day on Earth. Oh my God! Before he becomes the ghost cat. Okay, so I might cry. I might cry at the beginning of this because it sounds like the cat. He's going to die.
Supposed to cry. Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably going to die. It sounds like, well, he is going to die. Follow Grimalkin as he witnesses the changes of the next 120 years, prowling unseen among the inhabitants of an Edinburgh tenement, while unearthing some startling revelations about the mystery of existence, the unstoppable march of time, and the true meaning of feline companionship. My God, I'm probably going to cry. This book's going to make me cry. You just know it is.
It's going to make you cry at the beginning and at the end.
Yeah.
And probably somewhere in between.
Yeah, because he's probably going to like die again. You know, because he's a ghost. He's probably going to die again and have his his unresolved business like finished, and he's going to go like up to cat heaven.
Next, I have Same Bed, Different Dreams by Ed Park. I don't quite recall again what this is about. Would you like me to read it?
Mm-hmm, yes.
Okay.
Because I don't even know what I bought you. It was on your list and I just bought it.
He said, okay, this will work. Okay, it's a long one. In 1919, far-flung patriots established the Korean Provisional Government to protest the Japanese occupation of their country. Y'all, I don't like reading out loud. It's exhausting. This government in exile proves mostly symbolic, though, and after Japan's defeat in World War II, the KPG dissolves and civil war erupts, resulting in the tragic North-South split that remains today. But what if the KPG still existed? Now working towards a unified Korea, secretly pulling levers to further its aims. Same Bed, Different Dreams weaves together three distinct narrative voices with an archive of mysterious images and twists reality like a kaleidoscope. Korean history, American pop culture, and our tech-fraught lives come together in this extraordinary and unforgettable novel, loaded with assassins and mad poets, RPGs and slasher films, K-pop bands, and the perils of social media. Soon, Sheen, a former writer now employed by the tech behemoth Gloat, comes into possession of an unfinished book seemingly authored by the KPG. The manuscript is a riveting revisionist history connecting famous names and obscure big players to the KPG's grand project.
There's a lot going on in this book.
There is, and I want to read the rest of that. So, yep.
Okay.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on in that book. That sounds riveting. Next up, The Forgotten Bookshop in Paris by Daisy Wood. It takes place in Paris, 1940. War is closing in on the city of love. With his wife forced into hiding, Jacques must stand by and watch as the Nazis take away everything he holds dear, of course. Everything except his last beacon of hope, his beloved bookshop. But when a young woman and her child knock on his door one night and beg for refuge, he knows his only option is to risk it all once more to save a life. And then so we go from 1940 to the modern day. Juliet and her husband have finally made it to France on the romantic getaway of her dreams. But as the days pass, all she discovers is quite how far they've grown apart. She's craving a new adventure, so when she happens across a tiny abandoned shop with a for sale sign in the window, it feels faded. So I'm guessing there's going to be some hot Frenchman at this bookshop, because it seems like her and her husband are having a falling out. So she's probably going to run into some hot bookworm at this bookshop, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're somehow going to go back to Paris 1940 as well, and there's going to be some sort of connection that happens. I don't know. I've read a lot of books like this. I kind of can figure out how the ending's going to go.
Next, I have Star Wars Padawan by Kirsten White. And
I'm going to read this book too, y'all. I mean, look at it.
This one, so Obi-Wan has just recently become Qui-Gon Jinn's Padawan. So
if you've never watched Star Wars, her just talk about the synopsis makes no sense, but just go with it.
So yeah, he's just become his apprentice, and they're gonna go on an adventure. I'm sure, you guys. But I think he's sounds like he doesn't feel like he belongs, because Obi-Wan, they've always mentioned in other things that him and Qui-Gon have kind of very different viewpoints and of stuff, because Qui-Gon was always like, Jedi are kind of like,
Yeah.
So yeah, there'll be questionings of if he is worthy, probably.
Yeah, I want to read that too. Yeah, young hot
You
Ewan
just
McGregor.
want it because this.
Yeah, young hot Ewan McGregor, guys. I mean, the man's still hot. I mean, look at him. Ain't he like almost 50? Or is he 50? I can't remember. I don't think he's 50 just yet. I have another book here by Daisy Wood, and this is The Royal Librarian. So let's see. And this is like the exact same sort of thing as the other book, you guys. But this is Windsor, 1940. War is raging, and as bombs rain down across Britain, nowhere is safe, not even the royal palace. Secretly tasked with foiling a suspected plot, Sophie Klein is placed in the royal library at Windsor Castle, where the princesses reside. But when she learns that the palace is compromised, Sophie must sacrifice everything she loves to save the future Queen of England. So then we go to Philadelphia, the present day. Looking through her grandmother's papers, Lacey Jones comes across a mysterious letter stamped with the Windsor Castle crest. Ooh, I already see how the connection is going. But how did it come to be in her family's possession? And so begins a journey that will take Lacey deep into the heart of the oldest inhabited castle in the world and change her life forever. So yeah, her grandmother, I'm assuming, is the Sophie Klein character from the 1940s, who was the librarian. I'm putting the pieces together, you guys.
Next, I have Star Wars Mace Windu, The Glass Abyss. And this is by Stephen Barnes. And we finally get a cool book with Mace Windu. I personally love when we get prequel-related Star Wars books. Might be blasphemous to say, but oh well.
we are prequel people. We love the prequels.
Prequel enthusiasts. But spoilers, I guess, for if you've not watched prequel Star Wars or any Star Wars, because this whole book revolves around after Qui-Gon has died. First, we have a book about Obi-Wan with Qui-Gon. Now we're taking place right after Qui-Gon has died. And Mace Windu receives a final message from Qui-Gon.
Oh.
That's why I had to say it. So he receives a final message, and this sends him out on a little adventure.
That sounds good too. I gotta read that too. Next up, The Black Hunger by Nicholas Poulin. And this follows, let's see. John Saxville will soon be dead. Shadows writhe in the corners of his cell as he mourns the death of his secret lover, and as the gnawing hunger inside him grows impossible to ignore. He must write his last testament before it is too late. The story he tells will take us to the darkest part of the human soul. It is a tale of otherworldly creatures, ancient cults, and a terrifying journey from the stone circles of Scotland to the icy peaks of Tibet. It is a tale that will take us to the end of the world. I like how vague the synopsis is. I know that's supposed to be like a horror book, though, because when I've seen it shelved on Goodreads, it's always under horror. So yeah, so I'm curious.
Oh yeah, because it was just staring at me.
Even in Barnes and Noble, right? It was in the horror section in Barnes and Noble. So I'm curious because there's nothing about the synopsis of this that really sounds like a horror type of book. So I'm curious what's going to happen to make it terrifying.
All the plague people rise from
because I believe this takes place during, the Black Death, the plague, in medieval Europe and whatnot.
Maybe that's why it's horror, like just the theme of it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's gruesome.
Yeah.
I'm
anticipating, it's the plague, it's medieval Europe. I'm anticipating some gruesomeness.
Next, I have Star Wars, The Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire by Dr. I've never had the doctor. Dr. Chris Kimshaw. Excuse me.
Make sure you get the doctor in there.
So this is it's a history book of the Empire, which is kind of cool, but I'll just read the back really quick.
It's like a fake history book. Yeah. Like the House of the Dragon.
It's collecting everything that's been collected through all these years.
It's like the House of the Dragon book, the Fire and Blood book that George R. R. Martin put out, and it's like a fake history of Westeros and like the Targaryen dynasty. It's like this is the exact same sort of thing, which sounds really cool.
But it just says, A History of the Dark Times. When Palpatine declared the birth of his new empire, he expected it would stand for millennia. Instead, it lasted only 24 years. This is the story of how a tyrannical regime rose from the ashes of democracy, ruled the galaxy with an iron fist, and then collapsed into dust. It is a story of war and heroes, of the power of propaganda and the dangers of complacency, but most of all, it is a story of ordinary people trying to live their lives in the face of a brutal dictatorship.
That's why it's a doctor. You got a doctor writing this.
He's getting deep.
It's getting deep, y'all. That sounds really good, though.
Because it says he is a historian author who has written widely on the First World War and on the ways modern media, particularly video games and the Star Wars franchise, portray history and war.
Okay. This guy knows what he's doing then. You gotta let me know if you read that if it's boring, because sometimes... though
I feel like with it being based off of a fictional thing,
that
it's going to be more entertaining than like a true
history book. Because sometimes you read nonfiction, and even if it's a subject you enjoy, sometimes if it's just, it can be dry and boring and tedious to get through, so it's like, that's why I've not read like Fire and Blood by George R. R. Martin yet, as much as I love like Game of Thrones and stuff. I've not read that because I'm worried that it's going to be dry and boring.
What if I start reading this and I completely forget it's fiction? And I'm like, oh my god,
Steffi's really.
I can't believe they did that.
So yeah, you need to read this and let me know if it comes across as dry and boring, or if it comes across as exciting.
I like that cover too, because I like how the Empire sign is crumbling.
Yeah. Next up, The Bog Wife by Kay Chronister. Kay Chronister, maybe.
Sure.
Maybe,
that
sure.
looks nice.
I love the cover design on this book. It's really cool. And this is supposed to be like horror as well. Since time immemorial, the Hadsley family has tended the cranberry bog. That's a mouthful. Okay. In exchange, the bog sustains them. The staunch seasons of their lives are governed by a strict covenant that is renewed each generation with the ritual sacrifice of their patriarch. In return, the bog produces a bog wife. Brought to life from vegetation, this woman is meant to carry on the family line. But when the bog fails or refuses to honor the bargain, the Hasleys, a group of discordant siblings still grieving the mother who mysteriously disappeared years earlier, face an unknown future. Middle child Wenna, summoned back to the dilapidated family manor just as her marriage is collapsing, believes the Hadsleys must abandon their patrimony. Her siblings are not so easily persuaded. Eldest daughter Ida, de facto head of the household, seeks to salvage the compact by desecrating it. Younger son Percy retreats into the wilderness in a dangerous bid to summon his own bog wife. And as youngest daughter Nora takes desperate measures to keep her warring siblings together, fledgling patriarch Charlie uncovers a disturbing secret that casts doubt over everything the family has ever believed about itself. Ooh, okay, so this sounds like a big, intense, toxic family drama of some sort. I'm here for it.
Next, I have The Nightmare Before Christmas, Zero's Journey. There's no author on here. But this is the ultimate full-color graphic novel edition. I've actually been waiting for this because this came out first, if I'm correct, comic books.
Like black and white.
Yes. And God, that was years and years. That was quite a while ago. And then they came out with 4 editions of color, but they're in kind of the typical stuff you get graphic novels in. And so then I'm glad I never bought those because I like this. This is a hardback. It's got all the whole series in here. It's all in color. So I'm glad I never got the other ones because this one's really cool looking. But Zero gets lost, I believe.
Poor baby.
Yeah. He somehow gets lost. I don't know how he gets lost.
I mean, he's dead. How's he lost?
But, so yeah, then everybody in Christmas Town is trying to find him, and Zero's trying to find his way back. So it's just there's probably not a lot of talking.
Just Zero.
He's just Zero flying around being cute and stuff, but that's cool.
Next up, I have The Housekeeper's Secret by Iana Gray. Standing in the remote, windswept moors of northern England, Coldwell Hall is the perfect place to hide. For the past 5 years, Kate Furness has maintained her professional mask so carefully that she almost believes she is the character she has created, Coldwell's respectable housekeeper. But the summer of 1911 brings new faces above and below the stairs of Coldwell Hall, including the handsome and mysterious new footman, Jim Arden. Yeah, just as the house's shuttered rooms open, so does Kate's guarded heart. To a love affair that is as intense as it is forbidden. But Kate can feel her control slipping as Jim harbors secrets of his own, told in alternating timelines from the last sun-drenched summer of the Edwardian Age, to the mud-filled trenches of World War I. The housekeeper's secret opens its door to a world of romance, the truths we hold on to, and the past we must let go of. Oh yeah, y'all love me some Downton Abbey. This sounds like sexy Downton Abbey, because Downton Abbey's kind of restrained. It's a little restrained, so this might be a little more sexy version of Downton Abbey. And the last book in this haul is The Voyage Home by Pat Barker, and I do believe this is book 3 in this particular series, and they all are like, I've not even started the series yet. Yeah, guys, I owned all of them. Now that I have this third one, I can sit and maybe binge through them all, but they all have something to do with, like, retellings of, like, the Iliad and the Odyssey. Let me kind of just do this one, because I don't think it's really going to spoil much of anything. I mean, if you know what happens in the Iliad and the Odyssey, I mean, something about Agamemnon, Clytemnestra, which is his wife. I'm not really going to read this. Yeah, it sounds like this is taking place, because it says it's the voyage home. I'm assuming this is taking place directly after the Iliad, when, when Agamemnon comes home and Clytemnestra is pissed about something because of why and how he got to Troy. If you know what happens, Agamemnon did something. Got pissed off his wife.
I don't remember.
I don't think you know.
I'll tell you off camera.
I'll tell you off camera. I don't think you know about that story, because a lot of retellings don't really go into that. But, Agamemnon did something to piss off his wife, and so they could set sail, because there was no wind to set sail to Troy. So this is, I guess, when he comes home, because Clytemnestra gets really angry, and does something pretty shocking, if you know. So I'm assuming this is what this whole thing is. And I can't wait, because I love how badass Clytemnestra is.
I'm going to need to see that name in writing.
So, I won't read the plot of this, since it is book 3, but yeah. I can't wait to start this series. So you guys, that is it for our Christmas book haul for 2024. Any of these books that you guys plan on reading in the future, just let us know. Or maybe you have read some of these by chance. Who knows? Just let us know.
Somebody needs to read about Nuggly.
Nuggly. Everybody read Nuggly. That cute little book about that Nuggly dog. So you guys, that is it for this book haul. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye guys.